momentum changed pretty quickly. We found a way to win the game. Same thing happened last night or the other night against Washington. You're up 24-25 with 7 to go, and they just go on a 8-0 run. The game's goes down to 16. So we got to look at those possessions in terms of, I think, guys understanding what are the things in games that change momentum. And we had some plays that really, really changed the momentum in the game. And it was on both ends. It wasn't like it was one thing. It was a multitude of things, decisions that we got to get better at and learn from. And again, some of the guys that and I'm not saying that they're the reason for it by any stretch, because we all contributed, players, coaches, everybody. But there's a lot of young guys in these situations for the first time that are learning how quickly momentum changes, and just got to try to use this time to try to help them get better through that.
Did Andre have to go to the locker room, and did you get an update on him?
Tooth, I don't know. He may have to. I don't want to guess, but I think he may have to get it taken out or may have to get it fixed. He's got to do something to it. I know that.
He just took a blow to the face?
I didn't ask him how it happened. I don't know what happened, but it is his tooth, and he's got to get it fixed, and whatever that means, I'm not sure.
Really, it's clear Alex Caruso's not 100%. Like, he's around out there a little bit, but how critical was his defense in the fourth quarter on Simons?
It wasn't only the defense; it was the decision making. They were without a timeout. He was. We talked about fouling up 3, and obviously with 9 seconds to go, it's a lot. But he got caught in a tough spot coming off the screen. And, right when the ball was in the air, he fouled right away, which was really a heads-up play. And then, we had talked about fouling again, but it kind of came up the side of the floor pretty quickly, and he was in a tough spot. So, like, the active hands, were really good in that situation. And then even at the end of the game, the inbounds pass to DeMar to get fouled to put him to the free throw line. So you look at all the defensive stuff, but also there's a lot of IQ plays that he makes that really, really impact the game positively.
Before the game, you talked about consistency being a big thing for Io, and tonight to Saturday night feels like there's a little bit of that consistency, at least across the games. Just kind of, how do you feel that encapsulates where he's showing some of that growth?
Yeah, no, he's doing that. I think he's trying to pride himself on being a guy that can come back and be consistent night in and night out. And again, it's not always going to be through scoring, but whether it's through defense, getting downhill, generating shots. I thought he responded really, really, really well. He obviously didn't have the scoring output he had the other night, but I thought he played a really, really very, very sound, consistent game all the way through.
You spoke to it a little bit there, but that strip that Alex had, he's got 5 fouls, just kind of the ballsiness to even go for that play in that moment.
Well, I think one of the things that makes him a great defender, besides the physical attributes and the IQ, is when he is in a bad spot, because it happens to great defenders all the time. You get put into a tough spot, and when you're in a tough, compromising situation, he has the ability to kind of recover from those situations. So he was in a tough spot with Simons. We were talking about fouling coming out of the timeout, coming out of the free throw, and he's kind of there. He's in a tough spot, but he knows Simons has got to bring the ball up, and he's got the IQ to kind of make a play like that. And he does that, quite a bit, where his defense is obviously speaks for itself. But there are times where he's just in compromising situations. I'm not talking about his health. I'm just talking about defensive positioning. And he has a way to get himself back into being in an advantageous situation, and it's just his smarts and his IQ.
I've said this before, I'm not a minutes police guy. Your best players play a lot of minutes, right? But you probably weren't looking to play DeMar 40 minutes tonight. What kind of luxury is it as a coach to know that you can rely on him to do that if you need that?
Again, we do have 2 days, so I remember that too, right? So, it's like the same thing happened, at the end of the Washington game where you're up 25 and there's 7. You're bringing them back, and we've got to be able to understand that. What are the 3 or 4 or 5 things that happen consecutively that create that? And I took him out. I tried to get him out just for a minute or two, but I think when he came out, I'm not sure what it was, but it went down to 4, and then I called timeout and got him back in. But it was some of the things that we did led to, a Simons 3, a fast break transition situation, turnovers. A lot of those things bled into, really breaking our momentum, because we never got a momentum. And give them credit. They switched up defenses quite a bit. They went from zone. They played a little bit big. They put 8 on Io. They were moving around matchups, and they've done that before. They've shown that. And I think in doing that, I thought as the game got deeper into the fourth, we responded a little bit better. That's why I kind of went big with Drummond. Not to say, Reef's a big guy for him, but it would force, them to maybe match up. But they still put a small, on Vooch, and they put a big there to use Aiden as a shot blocker. So some of it's that, playing against a team that mixes things up quite a bit, and our guys understanding and recognizing what's going on too.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.